Just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any worse, movie theaters decide to shut down again.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
We will explain what this means for upcoming movies, as well as the future of the movie theaters itself, in this blockbuster episode of the JoshPod. Welcome to the JoshPod. I am your host, Josh Simonji. Thanks again for watching. But before we get started on today's topic, we're going to read your comments. This is from the last JoshPod episode, episode number 21, Disney is Feeling the Heat. And we have one person named Naomi who's commented on this video. She says, pretty sure their names are Bear, Rabbit, Fox, Bear. And then she spells Bear, B-R, the apostrophe, and then E-R. So I was making the joke in the JoshPod episode, Bear, B-E-H-R, which sounds the same as B-E-A-R. And they're... If I have to explain the joke, then you just ruined my joke, Naomi, if that is your real name. And then she calls me a fake fan. You're a fake fan. Don't forget you can comment at the bottom of this video, and you too might have your comment read on the JoshPod. So, hey, why don't you get on commenting right now? Or you can comment after this topic discussion, because this might incite you a bit. So let's jump into this topic, shall we? I think we can all agree 2020 has been a sucky year. We have had Australian fires, murder hornets, Amber Heard pooping in Johnny Depp's bed, California fires, the Kung Flu, lockdowns, riots, live action Mulan. But hey, we are nearing the end of 2020, so give yourselves a round of applause after you disinfect your hands, of course, because we're almost getting through 2020 together. But you know what isn't getting through 2020? Movie theaters. That's right. So let me explain. Back in late August, AMC and Cineworld movie theaters got to reopen since their initial shutdown. Again, they were shut down because of the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Along with these theaters reopening, the much anticipated movie Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan, also released to theaters on September 3rd, 2020. The idea was to release this blockbuster movie for theaters when they finally reopen, rather than just, put it directly to video on demand. And if you've seen Christopher Nolan movies, you understand, oh, you have to go see this movie in a theater. And speaking of, we did a review on Tenet, the movie, the Simonji Productions team, and you can check out that podcast next week. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Movie theaters got to reopen, Tenet was finally released, and everyone flocked to the movie theaters, right? Well, unfortunately, due to the lack of interest in Tenet and the constant fear-mongering by the United States media, movie theaters didn't make a lot of money from Tenet, which means that Tenet also didn't do well financially. In fact, at the time of this recording, Tenet has only made $20 million domestically, and that's really bad for a movie, especially at that scale. To give you an idea, Tenet, to make the movie, it cost them $205 million to make. In accounting, they call that a net loss. Now, to be fair, these are only the domestic numbers. Tenet was able to release worldwide, and they actually made $132 million internationally. But we don't care about the rest of the world. This is the JoshPod. We care about America. Damn it. Not only did Tenet not do well, but there aren't any other big blockbuster movies like that coming out in 2020. And if there are, they're probably getting pushed back to 2021 because they're looking at Tenet and like, oh, they didn't do well financially because nobody saw the movie. So we're going to wait till, we have a vaccine or something like that. So Cineworld announced that they'll be shutting down their American movie theaters on October 8th. Now, if you remember, Cineworld is the company that owns Regal Theaters. They have a total of 535 movie theaters just in the United States, which is a lot more than I thought there was. But I guess that makes sense since they're the second biggest movie theater chain in the entire world, behind AMC, of course. Speaking of AMC, at the time of this recording, they have not said anything about shutting down their theaters in the United States. Now, I could speculate that they probably will be following soon the same idea as Cineworld, but we'll just have to wait and see because we don't know. Going back to the story, Cineworld claims that this is a temporary shutdown. Their idea is to stay shut down till the new big movies come out, so reopen sometime in 2021. Personally, I'm super bummed about them shutting down Regal movie theaters, mainly because there's a Regal movie theater right down the street from where I live, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like them shutting down again, it kind of puts them like in this weird spot where it's like, will they even reopen? Will the guidelines of COVID-19 be less restrictive? Who knows? And I love going to the movie theaters. I mean, sure, it's overpriced in California. I think like ticket prices to go see an IMAX movie is like $25 to $30. And every time you walk into a movie theater, there's like sticky floors and stuff like that. but I like going to it. It's fun. But at the same time, you have to be realistic about this. Everybody has a smartphone or a laptop or something to stream movies to these days. So why bother going out to see an expensive movie, go into a dark room with a bunch of random moistly coughing people, and then sit sometimes in a wet, sticky chair? Why do all that when you can literally just watch that same movie by yourself in the comfort of your own home? Not to mention, companies are now releasing their movies directly to their own personal streaming services, avoiding splitting the revenue with movie theaters. So what really is the point? So I can only personally speak for myself, obviously. I mean, JoshPod, hey, yeah, narcissist. I can only really speak for myself that I like going out to the movie theaters and watching a movie because you get the great visuals, you get awesome audio, the smell of popcorn, fellow audience reactions. Like my favorite memory recently was seeing the Avengers Endgame like opening night and having everybody react to the finale, which was awesome. It was very cool. Sure, you have that one guy who just laughs at really dumb jokes and has like the super obnoxious laugh, but hey, you can get past that. It's fine. Yeah, I personally just like the whole going out to see a movie type thing. I mean, I could watch that same movie in the comfort of my own home, but then I'm watching a movie by myself sometimes. So yeah, I don't know. I just like the whole movie watching experience when you go out to a theater. And of course, you can always make your own personal theater inside your home, but you need money and you need a lot of friends, and I have neither. So yeah, movie theaters are shutting down again. That's really bummer news. Sorry to add on to the, ever bummering world that we currently live in. That didn't make any sense, but I'm gonna go with it. So yeah, hopefully movie theaters, they do come back and they actually stay for good. And speaking of coming back and hopefully staying for good, the JoshPod. That one hit a little too close to home. Anyway, comment down below what your guys' thoughts on this topic are. What are you feeling like with movie theaters shutting down? What movie do you want to go see when theaters finally reopen? Comment down below, we want to hear it. If you're an audio listener, thanks again for listening. I'll clap very quietly, not to scare you. Just want to give you some good news. We will be changing our feed a little bit for the JoshPod podcast. Originally, it was with the Simonji podcast, so you get both the Simonji podcast and the JoshPod in the same feed. We're going to make it easier for you and just separate the JoshPod and the Simonji podcast. That's going to take some time, so I'll let you guys know when officially that goes live. And also, don't forget to tell your friends about the JoshPod. You guys can find our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts, as well as SoundCloud and the iHeartRadio app. So thanks again for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys next time here on the JoshPod.